Jon Jones, Ciryl Gane. That's what we're going to get into. The fight is coming up in a few weeks, which is crazy because we just saw
I
UFC
know.
284 and in March there are 2 pay-per-views. Who are you guys picking to win this next month? Like, yeah,
jeez, it's gonna be so good.
I cannot wait to see it, man. Jon Jones, Ciryl Gane. Who are you guys picking? Bedtime. You can go first and tell me why you're picking that one.
I'm gonna look, man. I've leaned Jones, especially after this fight on this weekend. I can see Jones winning a very controversial decision. Not a lot of people pick controversial decisions. I think Jones is going to get a little bit of a, like, I'm not going to say a robbery, but it's going to be like a contentious decision, I think, based off like volume. I don't think the takedowns will be as prevalent as people think. I think Gane will be ready for the takedowns. You know what I mean? He has a full training camp. He knows he's going to be wrestled in this fight. You know what I mean? I think Jones is going to capitalize more on the feet with some of the mistakes that Ciryl Gane makes. People kind of consider Ciryl Gane this really good striker. I do too. But I do think there are openings that a Jon Jones will see, especially because he's so smart. He has such good fight IQ, as opposed to what Anthony Smith thinks. He actually does have good fight IQ. He is going to see stuff that's there. I think Ciryl Gane ducks his head a lot if you watch a lot of his fights. When he misses, he kind of stops and like looks at you to see what you're going to do. He almost wants you to kind of follow up. And I think Jones can capitalize off that, especially with his kicks. I think Jones is going to find leg kicks as well. Gane's going to test out the leg kicks. But yeah, dude, I think Jones will defend the leg kicks quite well. I think he'll find the clinch and try and take him down, but Gane will do well defensively against the cage with his size. He's going to be prepared as well for the grappling. But I think it's going to be a bit of a coin flip decision. You know what I mean? I think it will be very technical on the feet. We'll be looking at the numbers. We'll be looking at the significant strikes numbers, the control time. I think Jones is going to find those little habits and catch him with uppercuts. He's going to catch him with knees when he ducks his head. He's going to be looking for head kicks when Gane kind of breaks away and kind of looks at you to see what you're going to do. I think Jones is going to eat some head kicks, some front kicks as well. I think Jones bites a lot on feints, which Gane is going to capitalize on as well. I think it's going to be a really technical striking match. I think Jones is going to do better on the feet than people expect. And I think Gane's going to do better in the grappling than people expect. But I lean Jones just because I can see more openings in Gane than I do in Jones, honestly. Now, I know Jones lost on the feet to Dominic Reyes, but I think Gane is less come forward with flurries the way that Reyes is. He's not going to put Jones on the back foot as much as a Reyes would. You know what I mean? Like Reyes was just pressuring. He was kind of hard-nosed. He was like, we're going to fucking fight. I'm going to put you on the cage. Whereas I think Gane's going to try and test out those leg kicks. He's going to kind of play at range with Jones, which does benefit Jones. So I lean Jones by a very close decision. I can see him catching those uppercuts when Gane ducks his head. I can see him clinching him, hitting him with good knees. I can see him, throwing up knees whenever Gane ducks his head. I can see him putting him on the cage with good combos and head kicks and stuff like that. So I lean Jones by a very close decision. But I think it'll be a very good fight. I'll be close on the feet.
You're muted, bro.
At first, I was like, okay, Jon Jones for sure going to win, all that. But as time goes by, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he loses. But at the same time, like, it's hard to not believe that, like, Jon Jones is not going to be training as hard as he's trained in years for this fight. Like, like he's coming back for a reason. He's coming back to win at heavyweight, He's going to be training harder than ever. I believe in the Reyes fight. I don't think he took Reyes seriously. I think in the Santos fight, he didn't take Santos seriously. I think in his last couple of fights, he just wasn't taking his opponent seriously. And I think he just really didn't train hard. And I think in terms of Ciryl Gane, I think he's going to take him super seriously. I think he's been taking the last 3 years seriously because he's figured it would be Francis. So I think Jones is going to be more prepared than ever, or at least for a very long time. I think he's going to come in here motivated, and you do not want to fight a scary Jon Jones. So I do think Jones is going to win, but I would not be surprised if Gane does win, and I also would not be surprised if it goes to a decision. At first, I was like, okay, Jones will probably submit him or finish him with ground and pound within the first couple rounds. But I think, like Bedtime said, I think Gane's going to be prepared for the wrestling, so I think he's going to do a little bit better than people are thinking. But I think Jones will win a pretty close decision. I think Jones will come into the ground at certain points, but I think Gane will be kind of impressive on the ground, and Jones won't be able to kind of hold him down. But at the same time, though, like I just don't know how Gane will react with Jones's like vicious elbows and that kind of stuff if he does get on top of him. And like I feel like if he does do that, like there's a chance that he just finishes the fight right there because Gane has never faced anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think Jones will win a close decision. That's my prediction. But I would not be surprised if Gane does win.
Yeah, I think that these are good picks. I originally picked Jon Jones to win this thing, but I can make a really good case for Ciryl Gane to win this fight. And as much as I want to pick Jones, I kind of want to be that guy who gets like the underdog pick here. And I kind of want to start going early just so I can say that I picked it from the start. And so I'm going to fucking go for it. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to pick Ciryl Gane to beat Jon Jones. Now, I think right now, like if I have to look at the percentage chance of who's going to win, I give Ciryl Gane like a, 55% chance to win. Jon Jones a 45% chance. But I've been seeing pictures of Jon Jones lately, and he looks like fat. I understand I haven't really looked at his physique all that much, but when I'm looking at his face, it's not just like a big face where he's got this big, thick neck and his head's grew a little bit. He genuinely looks like he's got this big, bloated look going on. And I don't know if that's good. I don't think Jon Jones stores that much body fat on, because even in the past, in the off season, in between fights, Jones wouldn't have this big fat face going on. Nowadays, he's got this bloat, these big ass cheeks. He just looks a little soft, and he hasn't fought for years. And the last fight that he had, he lost. He's looked worse and worse and worse the more he's fought. Like, for sure, he looked amazing against Gustafsson and Anthony Smith. But then he fought Thiago and he had a really close fight. And then he, almost lost to Reyes. I think he did lose that fight. And he got outstruck. And I rewatched that fight back a week and a half ago. And Dominic Reyes sunned him for 3 rounds. And that is T-Rex arms. Dominic Reyes, who's been KO'd out cold 3 times in a row. And I know he's training with Henry Cejudo. I know he's the GOAT. And I also know he's got this like mentality that a lot of these guys don't have. And that's why, you cannot fake winning that many times in title shots. The guy is like clearly the best competitor we've ever seen. And I think that for sure, there's a good chance that his experience and his viciousness and like his IQ and his game plan can triumph in this one, where, maybe he has a perfect game plan to set things up, to slow down a Ciryl Gane. Like, he completely has shut guys down before. Like, he shut down Gustafsson in their rematch, and it was pathetic. Like, Gustafsson looked terrible, and Jones just had an answer for everything. Yep. And, he shut down Anthony Smith too. Jon Jones has shut down a lot of guys. And so the experience is on his side. But if I'm looking at recent history, and I'm looking at how Jon Jones has looked in the gym recently, where he's got this big ass fat face going on, and, he's been drinking and driving the past couple of years, although he's probably taken this very seriously. But let's be honest, this is always a crazy guy who's up to no good here and there. So I don't know if we can just definitively say that Jon Jones is just Mr. Sober, all business type of guy.
Shit, it might help him if he's not. If
exactly.
he's on that coke, you might do well, bro.
And you have a point. Maybe he's better as a crazy guy anyway. But maybe he's saucing too. We don't know that. I don't think so. I'm not going to bank on that. Like, that's not going to factor into it. But if I'm looking at this fight on the feet, I take Gane all day. I know Jones has the crazy elbows. I know he's very creative. I know he can set things up, and he's a good kickboxer. But he's starting to look a little old. Like, when I watch him fight, even against, I don't know, he just doesn't look as impressive to me anymore. And Ciryl Gane is the new guy on the block. Like, he's extremely impressive. And we're always talking about how Ciryl Gane moves like a middleweight. Like, dude, I know Jon Jones is moving up to heavyweight, and a lot of these guys are going to be slow for him, but Ciryl Gane's not going to be that guy. Ciryl Gane is not a good example of your average speed heavyweight. He's just not. And on the feet, the reach advantage is for Jones, but I don't know if his boxing is really all that to be able to utilize it that much. When you're getting pieced up by Dominic Reyes, I think Ciryl Gane has it all day on the feet. Now, can Jon Jones make the rounds close? I think so. But man, we're looking at Ciryl Gane fighting these big, heavy hitters like Tai Tuivasa, like Francis Ngannou, like, Jairzinho Rosenstrike. He really has to worry about the power that's coming back his way. I don't think he has to worry about that power with Jon Jones. Now, he'll find out. Maybe Jones is cracking harder at heavyweight. but this is not a guy that has heavy.
He's got to worry
hands.
about the takedown though. I think that's going to affect.
Yeah,
I think
that
he's
is
going to be
a good
super bothered by the
And
even
that I agree with. That I agree with.
Yeah.
But I do have to say this. All of his opponents have to worry about the takedown. Dominic Reyes had to worry about the takedown. Thiago Santos had to worry
but
about
like
the
not as
takedown.
much as Gane though, because I think Gane is expecting like this guy Jones, like his only way to fight
Yeah.
and beat him is by taking him down. So I think he's gonna be more like conscious over it, and maybe Jones
Especially
that'll
after his
open up
last fight.
Jones' striking a bit more for stuff like elbows,
That is
elbows,
true.
stuff like that. Knees,
Now one
all
thing
that.
I will say, because this really does factor into my take, I do think that John Jones's way to win is with the wrestling. I think he's really good offensively on the ground, but like he took Anthony Smith down, rinse and repeat towards the latter rounds and didn't finish him. Couldn't do anything to him, like to really, really hurt him badly. I don't know if he's just going to finish Gane like that. I don't know if he's just going to submit Gane. I actually
I don't see a
bet
finish,
that
no.
Ciryl Gane might be harder to deal with on the ground than Anthony Smith. Like, you know what I mean? And the last thing I'm going to say is when Ciryl Gane was taken down by Francis, like he was just straight up not ready for that. Like Francis and Ngannou, give him a little bit of wrestling training and the guy could take down basically anyone in the UFC maybe. I mean, that's how good he is. You know what I mean? And I just think that Ciryl Gane was completely caught off guard and he only got taken down in 2 rounds. Like the 3rd round, I know Francis was on top of him, but Ciryl Gane was the one who landed the takedown. I think that this is a guy who started fighting in 2018, which is insane. We talk about how impressive it is for Volkanovski to start training when he's 23. Dude, Ciryl Gane started fighting in 2018. Like he wasn't even doing kickboxing before that. Like legitimately started doing his first competition in 2018. And he's already by far the best heavyweight on the planet aside from Francis. I think that this is a guy that could learn really good takedown defense for this fight. And I'm going to pick him to win on the feet. I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane and I'm going to pick him by decision, honestly. But I could see Jones winning. I'm just going to go with Ciryl Gane just because I like the underdog here.
I want to say something also about Gane that like we also don't know how he does when it gets deep, when it's a war, stuff like that.
That's true.
Like he's never been taken to these like deep waters, and when he was taken to in a 5-round fight, Francis beat him. You know, when he had the lead early on. So what if it's like the 4th and 5th round? Like what if it's the 5th round, 2-2? Like you think like who do you think is going to win? I think the more experienced guy, Jones, who has this killer instinct. You know, like Gane, like he hasn't shown any of that. So I think the experience could really come in handy in a fight like this, especially. So
yeah,
that's another factor. I feel like people are
but
forgetting.
don't you think
Plus
the
my
added
pick
weight could slow him down though?
Yes, but it doesn't. He still has that killer instinct no matter what, and he's gonna be motivated more than ever in heavyweight, knowing that this guy is dangerous. Not that it's like an Anthony Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's Ciryl
I think
Gane.
the size helped Ngannou wrestle him too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? I think Ngannou's size helped him take down Gane as well. So you add the skills of Jones. Jones is a fucking good wrestler. Like, he took down DC. You know what I mean? That's a big boy. So I think you add in the size
DC
of Jones now plus his skills, right?
Also, DC. I mean, we saw how hard Islam had taking down Volk, a shorter guy. Like,
that is impressive.
Jones took down a shorter guy pretty easily, who's a way better grappler.
His timing will be better for the takedowns if he wants to go there. He'd be better at feinting it as well. He knows more entries. You know, I think his fight IQ is way higher than Ngannou's. Like, that's not even a debate. So I feel like that puts him at such an advantage over Gane in terms of being able to threaten way more. Like, he can threaten the takedowns to set up his striking. He can mix in takedowns if the striking's not going well. He can clinch if he needs to. He's got everything. He's got, like, on paper, he's got fucking every advantage, like, except for the striking, obviously. You know, to quote the great Anthony
I
Smith,
really think he's gonna beat Gane.
I
think that robbery decision for Jones.
Go on.
I like decision.
That's
also.
my pick.
Decision.
You think decision?
Yeah.
I think that John Jones struggling to take down Reyes and like, you know, Santos. I think like
he
wanted
wasn't
to
motivated.
stand with them.
That's what you got to realize.
I don't think he was as motivated. And also, I think he wanted to stand with them. I think he'll be training wrestling more often. I get this vibe from Ciryl Gane that he's like might just be the most talented guy in the UFC.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I get from. Like, I've never seen someone like that at heavyweight. Every heavyweight sucks, bro, on the feet, except for maybe like Tom Aspinall and, you know, Alexander Volkov looks okay, but even Volkov looks like the average fucking bantamweight striker, like that's in the top 50. You know what I
Volkov
mean?
would not
Like,
be ranked
not
at
even.
fucking bantamweight. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, he's
Agreed.
basically not even that good. And even Volkov like stands out amongst all the heavyweights
Yeah.
with his striking.
Yeah, no,
And
you get the
Ciryl
sense that
Gane,
Gane's still
doesn't
improving,
lose
right?
rounds against these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
Gane
also,
I
but
think
that
Gane
also
might beat him,
is the
bro.
thing for John. But that also is the same thing for John. Like John is one of the most skilled, talented fighters ever, and he's moving up
True.
to the least skilled division of all
But
of them.
Ciryl Gane is
So, like,
not a
who
good
knows? Like, Gane
representation
could
of
just
the
be-
rest of the
No.
guys, though.
And
Yeah, but
Gane would have been
Gane
a really
could
good
be
entry
beating
for
these
him.
guys who are fucking trash. You know what I mean? Like Gane
Yeah,
could
true.
just be
That's true.
beating
It's a
these
big
trash.
step up
He's
for
just the
Gane.
superior striker.
But I also don't know if I could just say that Francis Ngannou is
No.
like a easier matchup for Gane than it is for Jones. I think that Francis.
He lost
I understand
to
he's not
Francis.
that
I mean,
skilled.
he lost to Francis.
I know, but I think he won. Like, I don't think he lost that fight, dude.
But like, I mean,
I still
like,
think he won that.
I think
shit.
it was a very
And Francis couldn't touch him. Francis literally could not touch him.
Yeah, no, he got schooled on the feet.
Like exactly. And I think
Francis
that
had one knee.
Francis, us
Francis
saying
had one
Francis
leg,
is not
too.
good, like we cannot deny that Francis Ngannou is the scariest man on earth. Like the guy is, even though he's not that technical,
He doesn't need to
one
be.
shot, he doesn't need to be, bro. One
Yeah.
shot and you're done. And you can't
Yeah.
knock him out either. He's got a fucking crazy chin.
So does Jones, though. We got to acknowledge Jones' fucking iron chin, bro.
No, I don't think Gane is gonna like,
No.
hurt him badly or anything like
No.
that. But I'm telling you guys, I think that the chance that Gane has, I think that Jones might gas a little quicker just because, dude, I know I've never seen him gas like that, and I haven't, but because he didn't gas against, Dominic Reyes.
No.
But I just think that the added size might slow him down. We didn't.
I just see a
that with Volk,
slow pace.
you know?
I can't see him slowing down in such a slow. I feel like it's not going to be high paced at all.
Dude, I could see
Like,
Gane just bouncing around, jabbing him up, having his
Yeah, like
way.
that's not it. That's not tiring to be on the other end of that though. Like
No,
it's not.
of course.
But the size, I do understand what you're saying, but I think it will be. I think it will be very like a point fight. I think it will be kind of like people. I feel like we're gonna be on a debate show like the week after, being like, who actually won, Gane versus Jones? I can tell. I know. Sign up right now for that shit, bro.
Dude.
We're gonna be here for that. That's what
Well,
I
I'm
think.
telling you, man. Like these
I'm hyped.
debates are great. It's funny because like even talking about Gane now, like we're bringing up Francis, and like we still are saying did he
Yeah.
even win that fight? So
Yep.
man, I hope it's a good fight. Is there any chance that Gane finishes him? You guys think or no?
No,
Damn, that's crazy.
I don't see it, bro. I just don't see it, bro.
Gane has fought some big punchers with big chins, and like
Yeah.
not really. I mean, who has Gane faced before Francis? So he didn't knock out Jarzinho, but he
Knocked out
did.
Volkov.
He has KO'd some guys. He
Yeah.
has knocked
He
some
KO'd
guys out.
Derek Lewis. It took
He
him
KO'd
3
Derek
rounds.
Lewis
Derek
and
Lewis.
Tai Tuivasa knocked him out.
Yeah. But it didn't really yeah.
I mean, he does. It's not like he has no power. It takes
No.
a while for him to get going, though.
Yeah.
I think that Gane is
mean,
going to
like-
look. What about on the feet? What about on the feet? How do you guys think it goes on the feet? I just can't see Jones beating this man on the feet.
I think it'll be just really close on the feet. I think it will be some rounds that they like, and takedowns might make just enough of a difference for Jones to win. I'm not saying that Jones is going to beat him on the feet, but I think who do I think the judges are going to give it to at the end of the fight? I think they're going to give it to Jones, bro. I think it's going to be closer than people think on the feet. But obviously, I think Gane's leg kicks are going to be there. He's going to, because Jones bites a lot on feints, dude. So I think he's going to use those to his advantage. His jab will he'll probably be really quick early as well. But I think if anyone's going to slow down, it might be Gane instead of Jones. I don't know.
Could be.
I have a
I mean,
hot
I can
take,
see
though.
Gane gassing in the later rounds. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a boring fight.
Really?
I
think
see.
it's gonna be a really
Technical. Yeah.
boring
I
fight.
don't think it's going to be boring at
Yeah.
all. I think that's like what we were kind of saying about Izzy and Pereira. I think this is going to be a banger. I don't think it's going to be like a brawl. I just think it's going to be like a really, really good fight. I think there are going to be
Yeah.
moments where I think Gane's going to hurt Jones. I'm not saying he's going to drop him. I'm saying he's going to have a moment in this fight where like Jones is like trying to save himself and things get a little crazy. And I think that Jones will have a moment where like Ciryl Gane is on the ground and Jones is elbowing him. I think it's going to be a crazy fight. I don't think that Ciryl Gane with a guy who does not have that much power. That's the thing. Like the threat of the takedown is significant, and maybe that will allow John Jones to open up his striking. But I just don't think that Ciryl Gane has to fear any power coming his way. And I think that these heavyweights that are Jones's size, Jones has always had the advantages physically. He no longer has that physical advantage. The only advantage he has physically is the reach. And I honestly do not think that Ciryl Gane will have an issue with Jones's reach. I don't. I think that
No.
Ciryl Gane's going to march him down. I really do.
Damn.
I don't think that I think Ciryl Gane can take big, kicks to the
Yeah, but
body.
then there's the risk of the takedown, though.
That's
You know
the
what I mean?
thing.
I
Now,
don't
Jones
I think
has
that's
the
gonna freeze him up a
wrestling.
bit. Yeah.
If Jones gets the
Yeah.
wrestling going, it's probably downhill from there because I think Gane will gas if Jones has success with wrestling.
But
Also,
if he faints it, it's gonna help his striking, bro.
Gane hasn't experienced this wrestling much as we've seen against Francis. You know what I mean? Like he can gas out if he gets taken down in the first or second round. Like who knows? Like you know what I'm saying? But I think Gane is honestly better off. Like I think that the training camp is going to be all wrestling focused, and I think that's going to really not actually be good for Gane's head.
Yeah.
I think that'll kind of mess with him being more worried, which will freeze him up a bit. And I think John will have a bit more.
I think it kind of diminishes their striking a tiny bit after those long training camps because they look a little bit less crisp on the feet.
Their mind is all on the grappling there. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to look less crisp because of that. I just think he's going to be so focused on the wrestling and not getting taken down, especially after the Francis fight. That I think he'll be a little bit hesitant and stuff like that. And I think Jones could.
It's either gonna affect his output or his power. Yeah. Like he's either gonna throw kicks with a lot less.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because I do think I do think Jones is gonna have a harder time getting Gane down than we think. But I just think that that Gane is going to be it's going to be so much in his head that he's just going to struggle on the feet, do a little bit worse on the feet than he usually does. And Jones may be able to edge those rounds out. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.